I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all having a nice Monday night. Hope you all had a nice Memorial Day. We're moving on to Tuesday. We got 15 games on the board. Toast is traveling. In fact, if I had to guess, he's most likely landing in Alaska about now. So obviously he was not going to make the show. We got Spoon to fill in, and we got TV Jones. Trevor is back for the week. So Trevor went to the Indianapolis 500. Was that yesterday or Saturday?
Yesterday.
All right, so Trevor's fresh off a Indy 500. As far as Monday night, I made a few dollars, went 2-2, but I had the Blue Jays at plus 120, and the NBA game I bet a little bit lighter than the other one, so made a few dollars, nothing crazy, but I'll take a profitable night. Let's turn that into 2 in a row. First up is an interesting one, and I'm just going to throw this out here. And then I want to see what you guys think. So what I was looking at is, obviously, no one likes Dustin May, right? Everyone likes to make fun of him, say he's an auto fade or whatever they say about Dustin May. I will say, if you take a look at Dustin May's numbers here, let me bring it up. Dustin May, whoa, that's big. So, Dustin May. First thing that jumps out at me is right here. His numbers against lefty bats: 278 WOBA, 114 WHIP, 311 xFIP. Solid numbers against lefties. He's better against lefty bats than he is against righties, possibly because he throws the slider over 40% of the time. So he's actually got better numbers against lefties than he does against righties. Now, has that translated into success? And this is kind of interesting. If you take a look at Dustin May's game logs here, right here, where has Dustin May pitched well? Well, against Arizona, a bunch of lefties. Against the Angels, he got absolutely rocked. Well, 4 runs, 8 base runs. I won't say absolutely rocked, but he got crushed by the Angels. Angels have a bunch of righties. Arizona, again, another good start. A bunch of lefties. He pitched into the 7th inning, just 2 earned runs. Then he saw Atlanta, Marlins, righties, Cubs. Well, Cubs are pretty mixed. And then you go back here, pitched a gem against the Nats. What's true about the Nats? A bunch of lefties. Now, I'm not saying this is a foolproof system. I mean, the Braves have lefties. He struggled against the Braves. So it's not like, oh, every time Dustin May sees lefties, he shuts them down. But there's definitely a pattern here. When Dustin May pitches against lefty-heavy lineups, the chances of him pitching a good start seem to be higher. Arizona, Washington, against lineups full of lefties. So I don't really trust Cleveland to begin with. They're loaded with lefties. I don't think it's crazy to say Dustin May might pitch well here. Spoon, are you a Dustin May guy? Am I talking crazy right now?
So I personally don't try to back Dustin May that much. A couple of years ago, I was on his K-prop the day he got hurt, season-ending injury. He comes back the next year. I'm on his K-prop again, and he gets another season-ending injury. So at that point, I decided I wouldn't bet his K-prop anymore. But it seems like there's some value with the Dodgers. I'm not a Tanner Bybee guy. This is the side of it that I'm on. I see a guy that he's been lucky enough and good enough to be a pitcher to this point in the season that has decent numbers. But if you look at this, 5 hits, 10 hits to Cincinnati. Obviously, he just pitched a gem versus Detroit. But I think this is a spot where Tanner Bybee, if he gives up 5 hits to the Dodgers, it's not going to be no runs. It's going to be 2 or 3 runs. And just like you're talking about it, the lefty bats here at Cleveland play a lot better. The way they kind of moved the signs around in the stadium the last few years, specifically for their own lefty bats to have more power. I think if you have a pitcher that can shut down Cleveland's lefty bats and we can get to Tanner Bybee, I don't see why this isn't a Dodger spot. It looks very affordable to me.
I completely agree. I'm putting it up for me too. I think I might bet the Dodgers. Completely agree.
So do you have any interest in doing anything like a -1 where you get rid of all the juice and get this at almost plus money, or do you just like the money line here?
I'm kind of open to whatever. I circled the Dodgers -1.5 and taking a swing. I'm not opposed to a Dodgers -1, not opposed to a Dodgers money line. And also, I agree with you about what you said about Tanner Bybee as well. I'm also not much of a Tanner Bybee guy anymore. I liked him a couple years ago, and last year I really deboarded the Tanner Bybee train. So I'm down to Dodgers team total over, but I agree. I might be down to bet the Dodgers. Let's see what TV Jones thinks.
Yeah, it was going to be a Dodgers team total over. I believe it was like 4.5 or something like that. Bybee sucks. It's just pretty simple. I know Dustin May is not amazing. I mean, you did bring up a good point there with lefty heavy lineups, but wind's blowing in. It's not ideal, but Dodgers can score runs. I mean, they score 5 or 6, or they score like 1 or 2 and they lose games. So I'll just take the team total over, get all 9 at bats, get part of this bullpen, and Bybee also there. So give me the over. I want nothing to do with Dustin May. I want to see him prove it that he can actually consistently be a solid pitcher.
I'm not seeing wind blow. Well, I don't really see much wind in this game. Just want to make sure we're looking. You see wind blowing in here?
Yeah, wind blowing in from right center, 7 miles an hour. I am on. Yeah.
I have it like blowing.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Weather. I think you're looking at the wrong day.
It's today's weather.
It's like no wind at all, slightly blowing out to left is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Tomorrow I see wind out 10 miles an hour to left field.
Let's do it. I'm betting the Dodgers.
Even better, over 4.5.
Oh, I forgot. There was one last thing. Now, I'm just going to put it up on the screen. You guys decide if you think it's a factor. There was one last hesitation, and maybe this is just I'm overthinking it. Maybe I shouldn't let it talk me off anything. I am a little worried when it comes to the Dodgers bullpen that both Tanner Scott and Vesia both went 24 and 23 pitches. Now, they both were rested for 2 days before that, so I think they're going to be available. So they should have everybody, but I don't love the idea that both threw 20-plus pitches. But let's do it, Dodgers. I'm betting it. What's the best number I could get right now? Minus 134 on FanDuel. Count me in.
134 is the best number I see right now.
Yep, I'm going on FanDuel to grab it right now. I'll bet the Dodgers. Just money line. Not going to get cute with it. And yeah, if Dustin May can even be decent, and I actually think it's very feasible that he can pitch well. But if he could just give me an average start, I feel like it puts us in a very winnable position. So I am in. Dodgers minus 134. Let me just share it to the group, and then we'll move on to the next one. I think the most interesting games in this slate are the first 6 or 7. I was having some trouble with the later ones. So, Dodgers. Sorry for the holdup. Dodgers. Okay.
I think I'm going to join you on that.
Yeah, I'm in. I literally just placed it. Dodgers minus 134. Let's move on to the next. Cardinals, Orioles, and this one, it really comes down to there's a lot of moving pieces in this one. So Baltimore's bullpen is definitely on the tax side, and I'll pull it up right now so everyone can see. 1 second, because that is definitely, and this isn't like the Dodgers, like, oh, I'm a little concerned that they threw. No, this is kind of bad. This is. Let's scroll up to the bullpen for the Orioles. So Batista, 2 of the last. Oh, you guys can't see that. Sorry. Here we go. Blow it up bigger. All right. So we got Batista, 2 of the last 3, but he only threw 10 and 11 pitches. So I would say he's probably available. But if you remember right here, I think it was the last time the Orioles used him on back-to-back days, he got crushed. I forget exactly which day it was, but where my mouse is right here, they brought him in for the second straight day, and he got crushed. He blew the save. Oh, yeah, it even says BS there. So that's what that means. So the last time the Orioles used him on back-to-back, he blew the save. Cano, 2 of the last 3. I mean, you won't see Dominguez. He's pitched 3 of the last 4. I'm very, very surprised if they used him. So, I mean, 3 of the main 4 arms here for Baltimore probably unavailable. So you don't like that for the Orioles. Now, the question, all right, Spoon, are you concerned about the Cardinals lineup? Are they starting to come down to earth, or are you thinking Cardinals are still hitting?
I think Sagano can keep this Cardinals lineup very much down to earth. I'd be surprised if they get more than 2 off Sagano. I figure he probably goes 6 innings in this game. They need him to go 6 innings in this game. So then it comes, how many more runs can we get off this bullpen? You just showed the Baltimore side of it. St. Louis's bullpen, I trust the back end of it a little more, but you need Ryan Helsley. He pitched 53 pitches there in those 2 combined days, and that's just a really heavy workload. I know sometimes managers handle that differently. I'm not sure that he's available, and that kind of makes me lean Orioles. Earlier this week, I was kind of looking at the Orioles schedule right here with St. Louis and the Sox coming up, and it looks like they could go on a run. I don't know, 7-8, they could rally off. And sometimes you need to do that without using your pen. And to do that, you have to score a bunch of runs. Can you do that in Palante? He's a ground ball pitcher, and he didn't have a great game his last outing. Half of his pitches weren't going to the ground, though, last game. So he's not being effective in the way he wants to be. And the Orioles' bats are starting to come up to the level where I think they're going to be the rest of the season. I think this is an Orioles spot, but I don't trust the bullpen. That's why I'm not going to bet it.
Toast is in the comments. He said, just landed in Portland. I'm only here to fade these guys. So I actually was slightly leaning the other way. I'll put Cardinals up, but I don't think I could get that. To me, I have a big question mark next to Palante. I don't know if I like him. I mean, I've seen him pitch really well before where I was like, wow, this might be a guy we have to bet on. And then there's other times where he goes out there, like specifically against the Mets, where it was like, this guy probably shouldn't even be pitching at this level. So I don't. The jury's out for me on Palante. But if Palante can just go, if Palante could keep it even against Sagano, I think the Cardinals can win this game. But that's a big if. So Cardinals are past for me. What about Jonesy?
Yeah, I like Sagano. I think he's been fine lately. Palante has been giving up runs. I know he's going 6 or 7 in some of these games, giving up 2 or 3, but he still does give up some runs. Orioles bats are heating up. You know, they've won 4 of their last 6, including 3 straight, and they're scoring they're starting to score 4 or 5 runs a game too. So I'm going to back Sagano in this offense first 5. Just take the run line plus 122 for Baltimore. In and out real quick. Don't even deal with the bullpen. I want no part of that. So just give me the first 5, score some runs, beat up Palante, and head out of town.
So you're just playing Sagano against Palante here in the first 5 run line.
And a lot of lefties too for the Orioles. And then if you look at Palante versus lefties on the road, he's got a 267 average, a 493 slug. He's given up 3 homers. What's that? 10, 11 extra base hits, 9 earned off of lefties alone too. So the amount of lefties, the weather, and the pitching advantage, in my opinion. So
here's the thing. Oh, you're only in the first 5. So what I was about to say, in the last 30 days, just throwing this out there, let's go last 14 days. Last 2 weeks, the Cardinals bullpen is top 10. And the Orioles bullpen is, I'm sorry, that's the Cardinals lineup. No, but the Cardinals bullpen is top 10 in baseball in ERA, WOBA, and XFIP. And the Orioles bullpen, 28th, 29th, 21st. And they're taxed. So I think in the late innings, I should have a pretty significant edge here. I just can't trust Palante enough. Maybe a live Cardinals bet if it's like 4-1 Baltimore early. If I can get like a real nice price on it, but
I'm going to guess a lot of those numbers are inflated with that 19-inning slaughter.
That's a very good point. All right, Giants, Tigers, and I'm feeling a little risky here. Jonesy, true or false? It'd be wise to fade Logan Webb here.
On the road? Yeah. I mean, the Giants
yes, it would be wise. Yes, it would be wise.
I think so. I think Detroit's offense is pretty damn good, but I don't trust Flaherty. So the weather is not ideal, conducive for run scoring here, I believe. But it's blowing in.
It's blowing in from left field.
Yeah. But regardless, Flaherty still has not been sharp. The dude rolls out of bed and gives up 3 earned every single day he starts. I mean, it is what it is. But San Fran's offense isn't fantastic. Still, I'm going to play the over 7. Webb on the road, Detroit's offense really damn good. Flaherty not been good. I think, if there's a spot San Fran can kind of do a little something, it might be against this guy. But they are pretty atrocious versus righties on the road overall. They're dead last in hard hit percentage and all that good shit. But Flaherty's just not good. If he comes out and shoves, so be it. Maybe he gets saved by the wind. It keeps some balls in the park. But over 7, that's how I'm going to roll with this one.
Here's the thing. Here's where you're flawed. Okay, yes, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you Flaherty's been good. I'm not going to try to say that. But there is no worse entity than the Giants bats on the road. This team just does not hit outside the city of San Francisco. Right here in the last 30 days, they're 29th in WRC plus, 29th in OPS, 29th in WOBA. I've been talking about this over and over again. When the Giants come home, you can count on them to score some runs, but when they go on the road, they don't score. So if there was ever a spot for Jack Flaherty to pitch well, it's at home against this Giants lineup. It's with weather like this. I think it's a beautiful spot for Jack Flaherty. It really comes down to, for me, do I think that the Tigers can score on Logan Webb? Logan Webb is a little bit more vulnerable to lefties. It's not crazy, but just a tiny bit. I mean, 301 WOBA to 270 against righties. Whips up a little bit, xFIPs up a little bit. It's not significant, but the Tigers are loaded with lefties. I honestly think at plus 100, the Tigers at home, I think it's worth a look. Here's what worries me, and here's why I don't have the bet right now, and I kind of want to hear what Spoon thinks about this. We were just talking about that. I mean, actually, me and Spoon were just briefly talking about this game. How many of these arms for the Tigers are going to be available? Because if you just glance at it, you might say, I think they're all going to be available if they need them. 2 of the last 3. Tigers bullpen is used, but it's not completely cooked. So I lean towards Tigers. Spoon, what do you think?
I think this is a Tigers spot. I think we should move on it too. We got plus money right here on the overnight spot. Like you said, the Giants are a team that's just night and day difference road to home, and they're on the road here. This Tiger Stadium isn't the most offensive, and I think the Giants need some bats. I hear Trevor saying that Flaherty gets out of bed and just gives up 3 runs. He's a serviceable pitcher, and he's shown that over the course of his career. I think he can shut this Giants lineup down for 5 or 6 innings. He's probably going to give up 2 to 3 runs, but that's going to be live in this game. The Tigers' bats are way better than that.
They're the Giants on the road.
I'm looking at this weather on this. I want to move on Detroit.
I'm betting
I don't think the plus money is going to be there in the morning. I'm going to take Detroit here.
Just took it. Got a plus 100 at Caesars. I am in on the Tigers. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure that those arms, if the Tigers need them, will be there. Sometimes the only way you can run into trouble there with a situation like this is if the Tigers are down a run, then maybe they don't use the arms. But if the Tigers are tied or winning, I think they use those arms. So, yeah, I did it. I just bet the Tigers. Let's move on. All right. Atlanta, Philly. Spoon, do you have any thoughts on this one? I think it's so coin flippy. I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to bet the Braves. I think the Phillies have just had such a cupcake schedule the last couple of weeks. They played the Pirates at home, then they played the Rockies, then they played the A's. It just seems like such a sell high for the Phillies coming home from the road trip against the trash of the league. No offense to those teams, but let's call it what it is. And now they're back home against a Braves team that seems to be on a little bit of an uptick. I couldn't do it because I feel, here's the thing. I know in my heart I want the Phillies to lose. I would love to see. I think what would be best for baseball, or at least my view of baseball, what I follow the most, which is the NL East, Mets, Phillies, and Braves in a 3-way race for the NL East, I just think would be freaking awesome. Be an awesome way to spend August. So I want the Braves to come back. I want the Phillies to get knocked down a peg. I want the Braves to win, but I don't know if I don't know if it's actually a good bet. What do you think, Spoon?
Yeah, I want to fade Ranger Suarez here. You look at him, like his starts this season. On paper, maybe they look decent, 7 innings, 6 2/3. But just like the lineups you were just talking about, we're talking about Colorado, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. When he faced Arizona, he got absolutely lit up. And that's a different level of lineup. And I think the Braves lineup is trending towards a higher level than what they've been at all season. Acuna is obviously a huge addition. It makes the lineup so much more dangerous. It just takes a hole out of it. And you got Strider on the other side. He's worked up to 75 pitches right now, so I expect him probably to go to 85 in this game. He's not somebody I worry that much about. We've talked about pitcher versus hitter splits, and I think Strider has really good numbers versus these Phillies. The only bat that I see getting to him decently is Brandon Marsh. I guess a 300 batting average and 600 slug as well for Harper, but they're not hitting him. It's Strider. I think this is a really good price to be able to back them at. I don't think you're going to be able to back Strider this long, this cheaply. It's Ranger Suarez on the other side. Those numbers are a lie. They all look really good, but if you change Colorado, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland to 3 better lineups, you're going to see horrendous change in that. And I think we can take advantage of that right now. I haven't moved on it yet. The Braves bullpen kind of worries me, but I think they have a better spot. The Phillies bullpen is also kind of taxed over the last week. I guess they're coming into it sort of fresh here. I'm not going to move on it, but Atlanta money line's what I'll be leaning towards, and maybe tomorrow I might actually put my money on it.
Yeah, I currently don't have a bet either, but something I want to point out, obviously we both talked about the Phillies' recent strength of schedule, and honestly, I know you can't control who you play. I get it, but when you take a look at this, let me ask you, do we really think the Phillies are getting to righties right now? Look it up. The last righty they saw, Gunnar Hoglund. Okay, 7 base runners, 3 home runs. They got to Gunnar Hoglund. They didn't touch Marquez and Coors. They got to Senzatella, who doesn't. Didn't get to Skeens. They got to Mudzinski on the Pirates. Didn't get to Fetty. They got to Sonny Gray. Didn't get to Louis Ortiz. Didn't get to Tanner Bybee. Didn't get to Gavin Williams. Well, a little bit with 8 base runners. But the Phillies are not absolutely tattooing right-handed pitching like that at all. I mean, the question is, what are you going to get from Strider? Spoon mentioned maybe they up it to 85 pitches. I think he said, it's such a wild card here with Spencer Strider. But if we get 80% Spencer Strider, I think at minus 102, it's enough to win. What do you think, Jones?
Yeah, I like the over 8. Ranger Suarez, the history versus lineup, not good. I mean, you go back to what he did last year. 3 games, he gave up 3, 5, and 9. Or 4. I'm sorry, 4. That's not great math. 12 runs in 14 innings. Not to mention the Braves have been hitting lefties a little bit. Strider, I think he can still get hit up a little bit. I mean, they've seen him a bunch too, and it's not like he's been super good so far. I know he's coming off an injury, and then he went back on the IL for a little bit, and he's coming back. So he's dealing with some shit, but wind's blowing out. Also, it's going to be 70 degrees out to dead center at 6 miles an hour. I think we can get some runs, but I hope Drake Baldwin plays tomorrow. If he does, I'm going to be on his bases, or Matt Olson, one of the two, because Matt Olson's been hitting lefties a lot lately. He also has decent numbers versus Suarez here also. I mean, the last 3 weeks versus lefty, Matt Olson's 9 of 30 with a double, 3 home runs, 4 runs, and 6 ribbies. So he's hitting lefties, and Ranger just not great numbers versus lineup. So I'll be on Baldwin or Olsen bases also on top of the over.
All right, you're right. It is supposed to be nice weather here in Philly. I didn't notice that before. It's supposed to be nice. Let's move on to the next one, and this is Joe Ryan's been excellent. Like, he's been truly excellent. I'll pull it up on the screen. In his last 4 starts, he's allowed 12 total hits, 3 walks, 2 earned runs. It's in his last 4 starts. So Joe Ryan has been truly awesome recently. But, I mean, the Rays lineup, are the Rays hot now? And, I mean, and not to mention in this ballpark, I feel like they could score runs at any second. It almost puts me in a weird position. I don't know if I want to blindly back Joe Ryan here. And with Taj Bradley on the other side, he's such a wild card as well. And the Twins lineup, I just feel like there's so many moving pieces in this one. This was the ultimate I have no freaking idea game. What do you think, Spoon?
Yeah, Joe Ryan's been really impressive this year to me. This is the kind of bullpen, though, that I think he can get hit in. He throws a lot of fastballs, or the kind of park that he can get hit in. He throws a lot of fastballs, and this Tampa Bay park is just built to give up home runs. The way his slider's working this year and the way his split finger's working this year, he's been able to fool hitters. But I think Tampa Bay's park could make some of those mistakes that don't hurt in other parks show up here. I don't want to back the Rays anymore. I've been on them the last 2 days, the 13-run outing, and then again today. I just don't think the magic's going to continue here. This lineup, sometimes they can get runs, but I don't know. I think Ryan can probably shut him down. This is probably an under for me if I was going to take anything out of it.
Really?
Everybody loves the overs here, but when nighttime hits, some of the conditions that make it more prone to the overs start to disappear, and that wind doesn't blow as hard. That's probably where I'd be at.
I kind of was leaning the other way, but I'm not even close to betting this. This is a true pass for me, but I'll put the over up because I was kind of leaning that way. But what, Jones, you have anything in this one?
Yeah, I'm a Spoon. I like the under. Joe Ryan been really damn good. Twins offense, same shit. They get hot for a little bit, but they truly are just absolute trash. So I get it's gonna be 88 degrees. Wind's gonna blow out a little bit, but I could easily see this game being like 3-2 or something like that. Joe Ryan's just been an absolute dog. He's rocking it this year. And Taj Bradley, I don't mind him. I think he'll be just fine against this Twins offense. But again, the weather may scare you, but I just think this is just gonna be a pitcher's duel. Mainly. So under 8.5, maybe even a first 5 under, just avoid both bullpens to avoid any random implosions or anything like that, but under all the way for me.
Something to keep in mind, the Rays were able to secure the win without having to use Fairbanks tonight. So Clevenger only threw 7 pitches. So if you're worried about the Rays bullpen coming off the wins, I mean, remember the day before they won by like 100 runs. And then today, because they took such a big lead late, they didn't have to use Fairbanks. So I honestly, there's nothing that really supports it. I kind of think Joe Ryan's going to get smacked around. I'd be leaning over or Rays. But I can't do it. I can't do it.
It does feel like a cheap price for Joe Ryan.
And he's this is stupid to say, but he's like long overdue. And in this ballpark, I don't know. I feel like Joe Ryan's gonna get hit up.
I mean, he does have a pretty high fly ball rate. I mean, 57.5% this year. I mean, the last 3 he's had 54, 63.5, and 77% fly ball rate. So I mean, if he is giving up some fly balls, they're just gonna carry out of the park. But I think he'll be fine.
Speaking of fine, a lot of chirping about the Mets today. Guys, it was just a flat spot coming off the big Sunday night baseball win. We're fine. We handled business. Got the win, secured the W. Now Meatball McGill's on the mound. And what did the Mets do? Okay, so I would imagine, I'll bring this up. I would imagine you probably won't see Diaz here. He only threw 11 pitches tonight, but he pitched on Friday and Saturday. So I don't think they'll stretch it and use Diaz, but they did save Stanek, Garrett, Kranick. So there are somewhat reliable arms there. I mean, depending on which Mets fan you ask, they might say they don't trust any of those guys. But I feel like that's kind of a thing. You don't trust your team's bullpen. But they do have some arms available. So the Mets bullpen isn't in complete shambles. Spoon, are you a Meatball McGill guy?
I'm not. This is a guy I've kind of grown used to trying to fade. He's pitched all right this season in spots, but he's not somebody I want to back. I see him here versus the Sox. Honestly, I kind of give Shane Smith the lean in the starting pitcher edge, to be honest. You get him in a nice pitcher's park. I think he looks like a really good pitcher here.
Wait, it's Shane Smith? I thought it was Jonathan Cannon. Did I make?
I thought it was Cannon.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I might have messed up. Let me check. ESPN has Jonathan Cannon. Let's see, RotoWire. That's also Jonathan Cannon. Is it definitely Cannon? Let me just make sure.
If it's Shane Smith, that changes everything, but...
Yeah, it definitely changes. Well, I mean, Cannon's been all right, though.
I was going off your spreadsheet there.
Oh, really? Oh.
It's probably just populated wrong.
Oh, you know what? Charles does the spreadsheet like 3 hours ago. So maybe it must have changed in the last. Yeah, because my spreadsheet does say Shane Smith. But it must have changed. I
see Cannon on multiple sources, yeah.
Yeah, so when Charles did the spreadsheets like 3 hours ago or 4 hours ago, it must have been, or he might have done them really early. Let's see if it's announced on Twitter. Because if he put Shane Smith in there, it must have been Shane Smith at some point. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I like Meatball McGill. Updated 3.5 hours ago. Jonathan Cannon slated to start. So it was originally supposed to be Shane Smith. So does that change your view of things, Spoon?
So Pitchers are such creatures of habit. If they're not ready to start or they're not planning on starting the next day, that means the routine they went through today wasn't their pregame routine. Makes me lean more towards the Mets. At this price, there's no value in trying to bet the Mets, in my opinion. I don't know. McGill's not the kind of pitcher that I would try to get in with the under here, but the under is what I like in this ballpark.
I could not agree more. I was literally just going to say under or pass. Didn't spend more than a minute looking at it. I'll put up under for both of us, but I can almost guarantee I won't be betting this. It's probably, the way I see it, is a very similar game to today. It looks ugly. Mets get the win. It's like 3-2. You know what? We have seen the White Sox back. I mean, in that Rangers series, I think 2 of those games they went off. They scored 10 in one of them, so it's not like the White Sox bats are completely incapable, but McGill at home, I think he should be fine. He's been a little shaky. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, Mets first 5. Was this money line?
Wow.
Yeah, first 5 run line. Sorry, first 5 run line, and then full game -1.5. It's plus.
What's
100.
the first 5? Plus 100.
Yeah,
really?
Well, for the parlay, like win the first 5 run line and then full game -1.5 plus
you
100.
parlayed that.
Well, I gotta. They're fucking -300, like
Okay,
275. You gotta do something. I mean, maybe even McGill record win plus 150. You know, I mean, if he gets hit up in the Sox and Cannon pitch as well, and somehow they don't have the lead after he leaves, so be it. But I think the Mets get to them. I mean, you get the bullpen coming in too. Cannon on the road, absolute trash. I mean, he had one good outing at Cincinnati, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned. Other than that, at Cubs 3, at Royals 2, at A's 3, at Boston 4, at Cleveland 6, at Detroit 3. He just gives up runs on the road. Like at home, he's fine. On the road, he's just an absolute gas can. So that's how I would kind of attack this game.
Yeah, I'm not taking it.
And their team totals -140 for over 4.5. So like, I don't want to.
With the home
Kyle,
team.
before we move on, there's an 8.5 on this game on FanDuel, and there's a 7.5 on this game on ESPN Bet.
Wow.
All the other books are at 8s. Those are kind of the books that I have circled as being really square and sharp on totals, and I think it's interesting that they're a half run off each other. It makes me want that under even more.
Right. A full 8.5 on FanDuel and an over 7.5 on ESPN Bet. Juiced a little bit, as you would expect, but everywhere else is 8. I see that also. The problem is, the more I was looking at it while you were talking, I was looking, and I wouldn't be surprised if the White Sox hit Meatball McGill here. He has not looked all that sharp. He looked great and struck out a bunch of guys in the Red Sox game. But the thing is, he didn't even make it through 5 innings in that game, and I don't know. I'm switching my pick. It would be White Sox plus 1.5 or pass. That I'm switching. I'm not betting it, but it would be White Sox plus 1.5 or pass for me. Let's move on. All right. What's next? By the way, shout out the Rod father. Rod's in the chat. He said he liked the Rays. Said Tampa before. And I agree. I would be Rays pass or over pass there. All right. Reds Royals. And okay, so the first thing we have to point out in this one is the Reds bullpen. There's a couple things here. I would say the lead story of this game is Brady Singer. And not only is he returning to Kansas City to pitch against his old team in his old ballpark, but this is particularly interesting because Brady Singer with the Royals, I mean, he was a guy that you backed at home in this ballpark. He was a very good pitcher at home the last few years, or the last couple of years, I'll say, with Kansas City. That was why, if you guys watch the offseason stuff, I was saying I was fading Brady Singer this season because his home park went from Kansas City to Great American. So that home field advantage I like for Brady Singer would now be gone, pitching in Great American. So this is interesting. He goes and pitches against his old team in an old ballpark where he used to dominate. So I like that for Brady Singer. But then on the other hand, he hasn't been great, Brady Singer. So part of me wants to think Brady Singer's going to get up and pitch a gem here. We know the Royals haven't really been hitting. But the other thing I wanted to show you about this game is the Reds bullpen. We're most likely not going to see... wow, that's huge. We're most likely not going to see Pagan, and we're most likely not going to see Santillan. So, I mean, it's not like the Reds have nobody. You still have Taylor Rogers will be available. Ashcraft's been okay. Yeah, May and Suter. So they should be missing their main two arms. So I think Brady Singer might deal. The question is, can you trust the Reds bats to show up, and can you trust the Reds bullpen to close it out? Spoon, what are your thoughts on that?
I really like taking a pitcher when he gets to come home versus a team he used to pitch for. I like it more when the relationship didn't end well. I think there's probably a lot of love between Brady Singer and the Royals. He was there for quite a while. Really good pitcher over the time there. It's kind of an interesting fit to take a fly ball pitcher and take him out of Kauffman, where he can be effective, and put him in the worst park to have a fly ball pitcher in Cincinnati. So not necessarily the best fit for him in that home park. And like you were talking about, Brady Singer at home over the past few years has just been a back. I naturally just want to back him here in this park where I know he's comfortable pitching. Old routines come back. The Reds bats came alive today. They've been alive for a little bit, but that makes me want to just fade them even more, because this is a team that can just completely disappear. 0-1 run is something we've seen from the Reds over and over again this season. I don't want to try to get involved with the Reds bullpen. I think this might be an interesting spot to try to take a Reds first 7. I think Brady Singer can get past the 5 mark. I think that's probably where I'd take it. I don't want.
What's the price on a Reds first 7? Interesting. I mean, it makes total sense because you're eliminating the innings where they're going to be missing Pagan and Santillan. It makes perfect sense. Reds first 7. Put it up. While he's looking, Jonesy, what are your thoughts here? By the way, it looks like it's going to be a bullpen day for Kansas City. Am I seeing that right? Daniel Lynch starting, or do you think he'll try to go 5? He was a starter at one point.
I bet you he goes at least 4.
Yeah, if you rewind, I think it was 2 years ago, Lynch was in the rotation for a while. We know he is capable of being a starting pitcher, but this year he's been in the bullpen. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, Reds money line. Brady Singer coming back, revenge. I think this is a spot he's going to absolutely shove to, and Cincinnati's bats have actually been showing up lately, so I'm going to trust them and back to get Singer. Get their guy. He's back in KC. I think they want to get him the dub here, so -112, I'll take it. I know he hasn't been incredibly sharp, but if there's a spot who's going to dial in, it's going to be against a Kansas City team that can hit, and he's back in his old ballpark after getting traded. So I'll go down with the ship. I know they're missing Pagan and Santillan, but don't care. I think Cincinnati's going to be a little extra motivated to get this one done for Brady tomorrow.
By the way, someone was talking about, we just saw a similar thing today. Adrian Hauser against his old team, the Mets. 6 shutout against the Mets today. So yeah,
he turned like 17 straight at one point.
Yeah, he was crushing the Mets. Adrian Hauser against his old team, and also it's not just Brady Singer against his old team. It's in a ballpark where he was elite in. Brady Singer was a bet on pitcher at home in Kansas City, so he knows how to pitch in this ballpark too.
I'm seeing -115 on this first 7. 3 cents to get rid of that bullpen seems like an absolute deal. That might make my card tomorrow. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on it at this moment.
First 7, money line -117. I think if you put a gun to my head and force me to bet this, that I would take Kansas City team total under. Could I get a 4.5?
I see 3.5 plus 114 for the under.
Yeah, it's all 3.5, but it's plus money, so I'll put that up. I'm not going to bet it at the 3.5, but remember, we played a few of these this year. When you're taking the team total under with the home team, you have the chance of them winning a 3-1 ball game, and you lose 3 outs. They don't bat in the bottom of the 9th, so that's a nice little addition when you're taking a team total under with the home team. They might not bat in the bottom of the 9th. You pretty much get an extra 3 outs for free there. So I don't trust the Royals bats. I like Singer to pitch a gem. He's due for one too. He's really been struggling against the Royals in a ballpark he's familiar with, a ballpark he's been excellent in. I think we'll see Brady Singer's best game here. And on
Wind
the other
blowing in hard too.
Yeah, weather is conducive for not scoring runs. On the other side, I don't even want to get involved. I wouldn't be surprised if the Royals win 3-0. Wouldn't be surprised if the Reds win 13-3. What I'm most comfortable in is the Royals not scoring a lot of runs. So,
also revenge for Jonathan India too.
oh shit, yeah, revenge for Jonathan India. Just revenge everywhere. Boston, Milwaukee. Okay, so before we'll pass this one over to Trevor, our resident Brewers fan.
Chad Patrick Day. Can't believe I faded him. How stupid.
If it makes you feel any better, I faded him also and lost. Honestly, the Red Sox had multiple. I mean, what were they, like 1 of 9 with runners in scoring position today?
They were atrocious.
So bad. But before Trevor goes, the first thing we need to mention is we saw the Brewers use McGill and Uribe, and we're not going to see either of these guys. Uribe's pitched back-to-back nights, and he threw 36 on Friday. So you're not going to see Uribe. You're not going to see McGill. He threw 34 pitches. So this is not a good Brewers bullpen to begin with. And if the Brewers do have the lead, you're going to see Nick Mears. You're going to see Jared Koenig, who has blown his share of games this year. Ashby, though, is back. Who was it that was talking about Ashby? That was John Legeza. So you do have you have a new arm there. Ashby back from injury, but still, the Brewers bullpen is definitely limited. Is it Cooper Criswell? Is that definitely it? No.
I didn't see anything yet, but I was only looking on one site. I don't know what RotoWire and
so RotoWire says Cooper Criswell, but sometimes they're just giving out a rough estimation. Spoon, do you have a picture for this one?
Um,
I'm not. ESPN says undecided. Odds Logic
I see
undecided.
Cooper Criswell on Fangraphs too.
So
so
go ahead.
Odds Logic's my
Me too.
decider there. If it's not listed there, I don't consider it a legit picture. That they'll put it in a different color as soon as they go, just like they have listed with Canid and red right now.
Yeah, I'll put that on the screen so you guys know what he's talking about here. Whoops, wrong one. So, see on Odds Logic, for those of you that don't have never used it, they put the pictures here, and if you scroll down, it says undecided right there for Boston. And see the red? That means there's recently been a change. So that's what he's talking about. I would like to play on Boston to somehow get to the Tax Brewers bullpen, but I really got nothing. We could skip this one if you guys want.
It would be over for me. Just bullpens are in trouble for Milwaukee right now. The bats are starting to heat up. Criswell's been giving up some runs. And Boston today had an ungodly amount of chances to score runs, and they didn't do it at all. So now you're going to take out Uribe and McGill. I think it's going to be trouble. And DL Hall went like 30-some pitches today, too. I know Ashby could come in, but outside of him, Payamps, Alexander, both of those guys love giving up runs and blowing games. So over 8.5 for me.
Someone said fix your mic, but he's the only one that said it. So I think everyone else, my mic is coming in clear. You guys hear me clear, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Probably just got to refresh your page. Every once in a while, the audio gets tweaked out.
He's the only one that said it. So I think maybe something's going on with his situation. And he typed it in all caps. So he might be off his rocker a little bit. Next up, we got, special shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays coming through for me today. That was an awesome hit because I was 1-1, and the Blue Jays were my last MLB bet, pretty much deciding whether or not I had a winning day. And I was getting frustrated there because they were up 2-0. Then they gave up a home run to Langford, I think it was, and it was 2-1. And then the Blue Jays kept having opportunities to extend the lead, and they kept leaving guys on base. Sack fly, they don't even send Kirk from third base, which was probably a good decision. He's slow as hell. But they kept having opportunities to extend the lead, to make it 3-1 or 4-1, and they kept blowing it. So when it came down to the 8th and 9th inning, I was like, they missed so many opportunities, they're going to lose this game, and they didn't. Hoffman closed it out. It's a little bit of a different situation now, though, because now on the mound we have Bowden Francis. It's not Kevin Gausman, who's been excellent. It's been Bowden Francis, who's, a lot of people have been disappointed with how he's produced so far this year. Spoon, are you a Bowden Francis guy?
Well, it was impossible for him to live up to the expectations he set for himself last year. Like, that was the best half of a season I think any pitcher's put up since Jake Arrieta's run, and he was obviously going to come back down to earth. Like you play a little bit of a game of chess with hitters and pitchers, and as the book comes out on the pitcher, you find ways to attack them. So I think that naturally that's coming. That being said, I think Texas's lineup right now is something he can attack. He's not in a hitter's park or anything right here. I like Nathan Eovaldi a lot. I think he's a really good pitcher. This seems like an under spot to me, but the way the bullpens are at, I end up ultimately leaning probably Texas or first 5 under, but first 5 under would be my favorite way to attack this game, I believe.
First 5 under. Okay. Can you get a 4? Is it a 3.5? Or can you get a 4.5? I'll pull it up in 1 second.
Yeah, I got
It's tough to argue with
what is he 4.5 minus 132 on FanDuel.
Ooh, okay. At 4.5, it's really tough to argue with that. In fact, I'm not even completely opposed to just tailing that right now. 4.5. How are they getting to 5 runs? I mean, I know Bowden Francis has been a walking fade, but this Texas lineup, this is what rock bottom looks like here, guys. This is bad right now, and obviously it's late May. We know how baseball is. In 3 weeks' time, we could be talking about how red hot the Texas bats are. So I'm not saying this is permanent. I'm just saying the way they're producing right now, it makes it really tough to believe in anything they're doing offensively here. I'll pull it up on the screen so you guys could see. Texas bats. I mean, look at this, dude. 1 second. We got against righties. Bottom 5 in baseball in the last 30 days. At home, bottom 5 in baseball. In fact, they're 29th in OPS, 29th in WOBA at home. Overall, bottom 5 in baseball. This Rangers lineup flat out is not scoring runs. So, to be honest, Toronto used Hoffman, but he'll be available. Other than that, they didn't use anyone else because Gausman pitched 8. The Blue Jays bullpen is in good shape, and honestly, I would take the Blue Jays bullpen over the Rangers bullpen. I think at this price, I would go back to the well with Toronto. I think I'm closer to tailing Spoon's first 5 under, so I'll put first 5 under up, but I'm also going to put the Blue Jays up because I don't know how I'm a big Eovaldi guy. I'm especially an Eovaldi guy at home. He was a beast in Arlington in this ballpark last year, but I don't know how you lay minus 166 with maybe the coldest lineup in baseball right now. So I'll put the Blue Jays up. I'm not opposed to tailing that first 5 under, though. Jones, what do you think?
Throw it up for me, too. BJ's money line, plus 140. You know what's funny is Eovaldi's earned run prop is sitting at 2.5 on DraftKings. You know what the last time he gave up more than 1 run was? That was, you have to go all the way back to April 19th, and it was 2-2-3-0-2. Other than that, he's been giving up 1 or 0, and now they're going to throw up a 2.5 earned run. That's a little fishy. If there's a spot Bowden Francis is going to actually pitch well for once, it is going to be against this lineup.
You can get a Texas team total under 4.5 at minus 132. I'm taking that right now.
I don't hate that. I'm just going to go back to the well with the Blue Jays here. You know, if they burn me again, it's right.
Did you bet them today with us?
No, I did not. I bet DeGrom under earned runs. Garbage.
Oh, he gave up a second.
Yeah.
I'm betting this right now. Rangers. The Rangers to score 5? What are we, crazy? Under 4.5. It's available on FanDuel. I am in. Let me just share it with everyone, and then I'll put it on the screen so everyone could see it. Rangers.
This is really weird that Eovaldi's earned run prop is 2.5. That's kind of like a red flag for me. He's given up 3 total runs in the last fucking month, and now you're gonna throw up a 2.5 against the Blue Jays. Something's going on. So he's gonna get hit up tomorrow.
Something's going on.
Fishy, man. This is fishy.
So I'm putting this on the screen now. Rangers team total under 4.5, and I just paid minus 132 for it. And remember, with this bet, this goes back to what we were just talking about with the Royals team total under that I didn't take, that I was considering, is team total under with the home team. What does that mean? it means you might get away with only 8 innings of bats here. If Eovaldi throws an absolute gem, which is obviously possible, it's the Blue Jays and it's Eovaldi at home. If Eovaldi throws an absolute gem here, the Rangers could win this game 3-0 or 3-2, and they don't even bat in the bottom of the ninth. So, yeah, I like this one. I'm in. Rangers team total under 4.5, minus 132. Whether the Blue Jays get to Eovaldi or don't, I still think this is a good bet. So, yeah, I'm in.
Hey, Kyle. One note on this. I'm looking at Seager. He's eligible to come back tomorrow, and they're saying he will be back in this homestand.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't prefer he's back, but also Corey Seager hasn't been quite. I mean,
and your first game back from injury, even if it is, it's not going to be. I just wanted to make sure that information was on the table.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it. Obviously, I prefer he's not back, but I mean, one batter wouldn't exactly. I mean, still got to get to 5 runs, so one batter wouldn't throw me off this. I bet it. I'm still cool with it. In fact, maybe Corey Seager potentially coming back is getting me a couple extra cents. Who knows? Rockies Cubs, banger of a series here. I think I almost nailed the price on this one. I think I said Cubs 4-1, and was it 3-1 the final? I think I almost nailed this one sarcastically because I didn't bet it.
Yeah, it was 3-1.
It was 3-1, right? Yeah.
I had this under today. This seemed like I almost wanted to go right back to it again today, looking at the 2 pitchers that are on the mound. The weather's similar conditions at Wrigley Field. I don't think people understand how hard it is to score runs when you get to this point. I know it's Rockies pitching, but you're used to seeing them in the most offensive park, not the most defensive friendly park. And I think this is probably another under spot, but I got it today. I haven't moved on it yet.
I couldn't.
The Rockies pitching is just hard to trust.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Marquez coming off an absolute gem too, but what you just said, copy and paste. This Wrigley Field is different. When the wind's blowing in at Wrigley, it's just different. And now I'm actually looking. It looks like the wind is going to be blowing in harder tomorrow than it even was today. So look, Marquez is probably not going to throw 7 innings of 1-run baseball against the Cubs like he just did against the Phillies. But I mean, he is one of their better starters. Doesn't say much. But yeah, as good as we perceive this Cubs lineup to be, and they've been very good, it's the conditions, man. And I copy and paste exactly what I said yesterday. Spoon got the under. I said under or pass. Unfortunately, I didn't bet it, but I said the Cubs will probably win about 4-1. And I think exactly that's where we're at here today. I don't know where the runs are coming from for the Rockies. So it would just be under or pass for me again. But again, I'm not going to pull the trigger on it because it's the Rockies pitching against the Cubs bats. So weather-wise, it's got to be under for me. I agree with Spoon. Trev?
Yeah, under for me, maybe even Rockies under 2.5 at even money. I mean, I don't see how they score at all. Like, this is literally one of the most historically bad teams. Like, I think I saw a stat through the first 50 games, they had a worse record than the previous holder, which was the 1980 or 1895 Cleveland Spiders or some shit. This team is horrendous. Under 8, Rockies under whatever. I don't see how they score more than 1 run at best tomorrow, even given how bad this Cubs shitty bullpen is. I think this is a spot they can at least hold down a team.
Couldn't agree more. And they're actually, when I did peek at the game, obviously I wasn't watching it, didn't have a bet on it, but when I did peek at the game, I did see the Rockies with some base runners here and there. But yeah, they obviously only scored 1. So let's move on to the next one, which is Athletics on the road in Houston. You know what? I got to say, such an asshole move for the A's to go and win the last game of that series after what they did. Spoon, did you happen to watch the extra innings game between the A's and the Phillies? Not the last game of the series, the one before that where the Phillies won 9-6 in extras. Did you happen to watch that by chance?
Yeah, I got on the team total 4 in that game. For the A's. I just saw them as the home team, and I thought they could find a way to win that game, but I just couldn't trust the bullpen to do it. I don't know. You watched the last 10 A's games. It was rough.
I was so upset. I was sitting up about a half unit, and obviously if I won the A's, I would have had a good day. If I lost the A's, I would have been slightly in the red. And the way they lost that game, bases loaded with no outs, and scored 0, that would have walked it off, was sickening, and then they rub it in by winning the next one. That being said, they're going on the road in Houston. If Houston had Framber on the mound, the A's have gotten to lefties. Maybe I could cook something up. I'm kind of a JP Sears guy. Hunter Brown should be fine here. Do you agree with that, Spoon?
Yeah, no, I think Hunter Brown's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's been that way for a few years. He got the tutelage of getting to work with some really good veteran pitchers for years, and I think it really shows this season. He's his coming out party. Here versus the A's, I don't expect anything any different. I know he gave up a few runs in his last game out there in Tampa Bay, but like we were talking about, that park's just different. Here at home, I expect him to pitch really well. I don't know. Has he even given up a run at home yet this year?
That's a good question.
I don't think so.
I can pull it up on the screen.
JP Sears, on the other hand, I mean, yeah, he can pitch a decent game, but he's one of those guys that he's just good enough to get lucky. He's not a good pitcher, and I see the Astros bats as being able to tag him. Probably no update on Jordan Alvarez coming back at this point, but I think this is definitely a Houston spot for me.
And to answer your question, he has not given up an earned run at home this year, but it's only been 2 starts. So there's that. Something that I do find a little interesting on the other side is the JP Sears side. Astros have not seen many lefties this year. In fact, there's only 4 here on my sheet. There might be 1 or 2 missing, but I agree. I guess, what would you go, Astros minus 1.5 or pass? That's what I'll put up for me, but I'm not betting it. I don't like laying 1.5 with the home team. So it'll be minus 1.5 or pass for me. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, this is we got your AL Cy Young winner pitching here in Hunter Brown. He had an absolutely horrendous outing last time against Tampa Bay. That was also on the road. Gave up 5, but other than that, absolutely dominant this year. I don't see a price listed. I don't see it out yet, but Hunter Brown recorded the win.
Yeah, you've done this
easy
a million
peasy.
times.
Yep, easy peasy. I mean, it's cash money. So
Money.
if Hunter Brown gets beat up by the A's and they can't score against JP Sears, so be it. I know they haven't seen many lefties, but the ones they did, I know they beat up Bubic and then Kyle Hart. But JP Sears is all right. He does pitch better on the road, so I'll give him that. But Houston at home with Hunter Brown going after an absolute disaster outing last time, I expect him to bounce back completely and shut down this lineup.
Rodfather's in the comments. It looks like he likes the under, a starting pitcher with good control, less than 1.75 walks per start. The under's record is 11-2 in Astros games. So, were you about to say something, Spoon?
Houston.
Yeah, I was just looking at the market in this game. I see 7.5s across the board, and then I see a few 8s on the board on some pretty sharp offshores. Kind of interesting how they're doing that. Makes me kind of scratch my head why they're a half run off every other book out there, because they're doing that intentionally. Shout out Rodfather. He came on walk-off wagers this week. He did great, had a winning show.
Good for Rod. Now, one thing, you guys probably already know what I'm going to bring up because I bring it up every single time the Astros play at home, but they are just like the Giants. They hit a lot better in this ballpark. This is one of the best home ballparks in baseball. In fact, in the last 30 days, they're second in WRC+. This is one of the best home lineups in baseball. So even though I'm not really sure how I feel about the Astros against left-handed pitching yet, we don't really have much of a sample size. I do trust the Astros to score in this ballpark. Yeah, Astros minus 1.5 for pass for me. Let's move on. All right, next up, Yankees Angels. What was the final score of this one? 5-1? Angels?
Something like that.
I believe so.
5-1, yeah. So Yankees Angels, Rodon pitching against Tyler Anderson. And I believe, I remember. Okay. So if you guys remember, I was talking about this yesterday. And when we were talking about the Yankees-Angels game, I said I wanted to keep an eye on the bullpen usage for the Yankees because they had some people in jeopardy. So what I want to do is look at what arms the Yankees used, because when we started this stream, that game was still going on. So they used De Los Santos, Leiter, and Weaver, which means they used, let's pull it up so everyone can see what I'm doing here. they used. Weaver is probably not going to be available. That's back-to-back days for him.
5th time in 7 days.
Yeah, so we're not going to see Weaver. Pop. Later, probably not going to see him either. Back-to-back days. And De Los Santos, he should be good. So this is what we're looking at for the Yankees bullpen. We're going to see Tim Hill. We're going to see Devin Williams, Trevor's old best friend in Milwaukee. So Yankees bullpen.
He's coming around. He's coming around.
You're still a believer?
Airbender.
No, he has been. He has been a lot better. So I had mentioned that I think this is the spot you take a shot with the Angels. Rodon's always down to get smacked. He's been good, but against a bunch of righties in the Angels lineup, an Angels lineup that's been hitting home runs. You got wind blowing out, a compromised Yankees bullpen. The Angels lost back-to-back games, so finally they got to rest their main arms. They've actually lost 3 in a row. So they're finally get to rest their main arms. During that winning streak, their bullpen was like, give me a break. Can we lose a couple? I think this is a spot you take a shot on the Halos. Are you with me, Spoon?
No. So Tyler Anderson, if you look at his game logs and go back, we're looking 5 earned, 4 earned on the last 2 games, and you go look at the Yankees bats over the last 14 days, just about any stat you want to look at, they're top 5 in baseball, if not number 1. I see these bats getting to Tyler Anderson, and I don't know if the bullpen needs to even be a part of this game. Yeah, you said Rodon can get touched, but at the same time, he's one of those guys that can show up with Cy Young stuff any day to the park, and why not today? It seems like he's one of those guys that confidence, he builds on it, and after a good start, I like to have him. I see him having another good start. Yeah, this is on the road, so it's not quite the same home comfort, but get out of that Yankee small park. I think this is a Yankee spot. I'm not betting it. I don't like to bet the Yankees. I'm not putting my money on it, but I would not try to help you get on the Angels here, but never talk a friend off a dog.
I'm liking this. I think I'm about to pull the trigger on it. TV Jones, are you with me?
Yeah, no. Yankees -1.5.
Square.
Yeah, call me a square. Angels finally came back to earth. 2-1 and 0 runs their last 3 games. That was also against the Marlins for 2 of those. So they've come back to earth after their 2-week just scorched earth tour. And I think Rodon will be just fine. Not to mention the Yankees are absolutely crushing left-handed pitching as of late too. So no problem here. Yankees run line -114. I got in Guadalajara, so I'm going to be riding that.
They didn't see one lefty on that hot streak. This is literally the second lefty they've seen all month.
Perfect. They're ready. They've been waiting to explode on a lefty. I got a +160 here on DraftKings.
They did get 6 on Sears. I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, I know they haven't seen a ton, like Spoon said, but in the last 14 days, this is the best lineup in baseball against lefties. 6th in WRC plus against lefties in the last 30. But again, they haven't seen a ton of lefty starters at all.
If we take JP Sears out of that, they're probably.
I mean, it would be all bullpen. It would all be all bullpen arms.
Yeah, I mean, last 3 weeks they have 97 plate appearances versus lefties too. So you take Sears out. How many plate appearances do they really have? Like 80.
We get it, Jonesy. You love the Yankees. Got it.
Oh, knock it off with that shit.
I'm on the Angels. Pirates.
Are you betting it?
Oh, I just bet it.
Nice.
+160. Pirates on the road in the desert. What was the final score? This one was 5-0. To be honest, I don't even remember what I thought about this game. I think this is a straight pass for me today. I definitely didn't bet it, but I don't even think I had a pick for the game. We got Corbin Burns. Trevor, what do you think about your old pal Corbin?
I think it'll be fine. I know the Pirates have seen him. Let me pull up these numbers. 129 plate appearances, but a 169 average, 288 slug. Only 3 homers given up and 5 doubles. So, I mean, they're not hitting them hard. Pirates offense is the Pirates offense. I guess we'll say that. So, I mean, nothing too spectacular. It would be Arizona -1.5 for me, but probably not going to bet that. What are the odds on that? It's not going to be good. -128. So I guess that's where I'd sit on this one, but I'm not going to be touching this one.
Spoon, do you happen to know, is Mike Burrows one of the Pirates? They have a few prospects. Is he one of them? Or is that there's definitely a Pirates prospect somewhere. I don't know if it's Burrows, though.
I think it's Bubba Chandler.
Oh, it is Bubba Chandler. That's the guy I was thinking of. So, all right, never mind.
Yeah, I believe Burrows is just kind of up because of the amount of times he has left on his contract to be pulled up and down. He's a 25-year-old. His stuff's all right. I know his ERA is jumping off the page right there with a 7.2, but he's probably more of a 4.5 ERA guy. That being said, Chase Field here, Arizona, this can be a bad place to pitch. And these Arizona bats, I think they could really get to Burrows. Do you see anything about the roof here? Is there anything official?
I'm not seeing anything, but I mean, I don't really. Let me see. I'll click on 1 second. I'll see if they're listing it. Roof status. Oh no, it just says 67% closed. That doesn't tell me for tomorrow. Got nothing.
If that roof was open, I think I might just go straight to the D-backs team total. Maybe D-backs -1.5. I don't see a reason that I really want to get the bullpen of their Arizona Diamondbacks involved, though. But the Pirates bats don't scare me. I don't really think they're going to score those runs.
Roof closed, by the way. They're saying in the comments. A few people said roof closed.
Yeah, that's enough for me. I have a couple other spots I like in this card. I'm just passing on this game.
Yeah, I'm not even putting anything up. Same with me. I have no idea. Let's move on to the next one. 2 games left. Washington, Seattle. Logan Evans, who's been pretty good, against Mitchell Parker, who honestly, I feel like has gotten some unnecessary hate this year. People talk about Mitchell Parker like he's one of the worst starters in baseball, and I mean, I'm not saying he's an elite lefty or anything, but he's not like a blind fade. I mean, Spoon, maybe you've heard it in the voice chats. Some people in our group we have some Mitchell Parker hater. Wait, actually, are you one of the Mitchell Parker haters?
I'm not a Mitchell Parker hater. I have a sweet spot for lefties. I like to watch the ball come out of a left-hander's hand. So whenever I watch him pitch, I just sit there and I'm like, no, this guy can get out. So I can find a way to back him. And sometimes the numbers don't always support that. But the big thing with me for Mitchell Parker is, does he have control? This is a guy that can lose 4 or 5 guys on the bases. And when you do that, you can't win games. And it looks like to me the last few games he's had his walks under control. I think this is a guy you can back in a pitcher's park like what we have here in Seattle. That being said, I'm not a huge Logan Evans guy. I would really lean Nationals. I don't have a bet in this game, and I probably won't move on it. But I think the Mariners really haven't shown the ability to get to left-hand starters. Valdez, Fried, Springs, not getting anything off of them. You have to go all the way back to the middle of April to score more than 2 runs off of a lefty. So I think this is a spot where Mitchell Parker could really take advantage of that pitcher-friendly environment and have himself a decent game. Those Nats bats, you have really short fences here, even though it's a pitcher-friendly park, and the Nats bats just love to swing for home runs. I see them getting 3 or 4 solo shots. Maybe that's enough for them to win the game.
I agree. I put Nats up for me as well. Maybe a Nats.
Finnegan still out?
Let's see if that's been updated. No, looks like he's back today. He was reactivated today, from what I'm seeing. You know what? Let me look it up on Twitter though. If anybody in the comments knows if Kyle Finnegan's back active, I'll look it up. See if anything's on Twitter.
Straight to the first 7 again. If there's no Finnegan, I need him in the bullpen.
Well, actually, if you want to bypass the Nats bullpen, what about a Nats team total over here? Let me show you something. So this is what I'm looking at right here. I'm looking at Logan Evans stuff. So first off, we know we're talking about the Nats, so we're talking about a ton of lefties. Nats lineup, just like last year, loaded up with lefty bats. Logan Evans, 347 WOPA, 164 WHIP against lefties compared to a 131 against righties. 464 xFIP compared to a 386 versus righties. So you like that for the Nats. You got a bunch of lefties against Logan Evans, who's struggled against lefties so far this year. But to take it a step further, what kind of pitches are we seeing from Logan Evans this year? The cutter. His main pitch is the cutter. The Nats happen to be one of the best lineups in baseball hitting the cut fastball. In fact, they're second, and I believe that's WOBA against the cutter. So you like that for the Nats bats as well. And there's actually something else I like for the Nats bats. Also, when you go down here to the Nats game logs against right-handed starters, they haven't been crushing them or anything, but look at the hard hit rate. These are the Nats, the righty starters that the Nats have seen. 45%, 68.8%. I mean, there's a lot of green here. So the Nats are barreling up these righty starters recently. So maybe a Nats team total over 3.5. I know it sucks taking any kind of over in this ballpark, but the weather's not that bad. I mean, it's kind of blowing in a little bit. I think a Nats team total over is worth a look here. What do you think about that, Spoon?
You said it. It's really difficult for me to try to take the word over in this park just because I've seen enough baseball games play out here to just runs don't happen the way you expect them to happen between teams in a different atmosphere. I don't see any reason we can't back Parker. Are we sure Evans is going? I'm peeking around trying to look at lines, and I don't see him listed on a couple books here.
Oh, wow. It says undecided, weirdly, but all the sports books are open, usually when a pitcher's undecided. Maybe I should hold up on this then.
I'm trying to think of who else would be available Seattle-wise, because most of the time they just put the pitcher that's supposed to be there, and they don't take him out unless they have a good reason.
So I'm just going to put this on the screen. I like the Nats to get... you can get an over 3.5 at plus 100, which I think is a very affordable price for a matchup against a pitcher. I think it's going to be pretty nice for the Nats. So I'm putting this on the screen. I like the Nats over 3. I like this bet at plus 100 if it's confirmed that Logan Evans is pitching, which is not. So I'm not going to place this right now. What do you think?
Give me Nats first 7 money line plus 120. It's 3 cents difference. Just get rid of. Don't even have to think about it.
It's plus 120. So Nationals first 7 money line plus 120. Don't even have to worry about the whether or not Kyle Finnegan's there. Like it. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, Nationals money line again. Seattle sucks. Their bats are regressing. Not to mention they're at home where they really struggle to score. Haven't been doing much versus lefties, and Logan Evans hasn't been incredibly sharp. I know Mitchell Parker on the road, not the same guy as he is at home, but I trust Washington's bats a lot more than Seattle's, to be honest. We got wind blowing in too, so that's going to be tough for runs. So, I mean, I don't hate an under either. I think this could easily be like 4-2, 4-3, something like that. But
4 for the Nats, so they're getting over 3.5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously.
That's the important part.
Yeah, of course. Finnegan also, Dave Martinez mentioned he can miss a little time dealing with the shoulder fatigue. Imaging came back negative, but the Nats are planning on shutting him down for a little bit until he feels better. That was 2 days ago. So Jorge Lopez is projected to enter the closer role for Washington here. I'm seeing. So is what it is, but I still just don't trust Seattle's bats, especially at home. They've been cold, and Logan Evans is not him. So give me the Nats.
Logan Evans is not him. All right, last game on the board, and I would imagine. I mean, I know for me personally, I have no freaking idea. I still don't understand. I guess Stephen Kolek's pretty good. I don't know. I haven't even looked at this game because I believe it was still starting. It was still going on when we were looking. So I got nothing for this one. Do you, Spoon, Jonesy, you guys have anything for Marlins Padres?
Marlins first 5 plus a half. I know Max Meyer's numbers on paper don't stand out. If they do stand out, they probably look bad to you. But I think he's the better pitcher of these two teams here right now. I think the Padres offense is one that Max Meyer can kind of work around, shut down for a few innings. I think the Marlins bats are also live to get 1 or 2 off Kolek. I think the money line's live too. First 5 plus a half minus 115 is just priced right for me. I really like Meyer. I've been on a lot of his first 5s this year, and I've been successful with it. The Marlins bats seem to show up for him, and I think this is a spot they do it again.
Yeah, I don't understand why we would be getting, because listening to you talk, getting a minus 15 plus the half run. I mean, how many runs are we expecting the Padres to score off Max Meyer? And I'm not even a big Max Meyer guy, or Meyer, however it's pronounced. But, I mean, the Padres aren't really hitting. Or are we thinking all of a sudden the Padres, all their offensive problems are fixed because they won 1 game in extras? I don't. What do you think, Jonesy?
Yeah, I didn't really look into this one much, but I'd be with Spoon here. Marlins first 5. 1-0 to do with that bullpen. San Diego did use Morjon and what's his nuts Adam tonight too. So not sure if we'll see them tomorrow. Guessing
They use
probably
Suarez
not.
too.
And Suarez
What?
in the 9th. Yeah,
Hold
so.
on. Did they use Estrada? No, they saved Estrada. Did they use Matsui? No, they didn't use Matsui. Reynolds? No. They used Peralta. All right. So here is the situation with the Padres bullpen. That's a good point. I didn't even look at this. Is the Marlins bullpen? Looks like they use some arms as well, though. Oh, okay. Henriquez, Bender. Oh, no. They saved arms, the Marlins. So the Marlins are going to have the serious bullpen event. Man, am I about to play the fish?
Yeah, I honestly debated going back to them too. I mean, like they had that damn game tonight, and they blew that knee. I mean, they got 3 runs first 2 innings and did diddly shit after that. I mean, other than that, it's not like the Padres looked that good. I mean, they got shut down, and then Machado hits that home run in the 8th to tie it up. But Marlins had chances to win that game tonight, and then Padres went on a wild pitch. So I'm kind of tempted to go back, but.
So you guys can see what we're talking about. You're not going to see Robert Suarez. You're not going to see Jason Adam. You're probably not. No, you're not going to see Morahone, which means, oh man, I'm doing this. I'm taking the fish. You're also not going to see Peralta. Wow, I'm doing it. Gimme.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Fish up. Wow, I did not intend. I did not start this. Oh wait. Is there undecided pitcher in this one? Is that why? No, it's confirmed. Some sports books don't have this open for some reason, but I can get a plus 155 on Bet365.
Plus
So-
166, I'm seeing.
The books refigure their numbers with the bullpen and all that. Different books handle that differently. I was trying to find that Reds number earlier, and that one was randomly off the board too. It just nothing to worry about.
I do have one plus 155 open, so I'm taking it. I am officially in on the fish. So I've got the Angels and the fish, 2 big dogs. Just give me one of those. I mean, I'll take both, though. But just one would be awesome. Let me just get...
All right, I just took it with you. I got 166. Shout out Guadalajara.
All right, we are in on the fish. Let me just share it with the group. Yeah, that's the last game. Spoon, want to tell the people where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, you can find me on X at Spoons Bets. You can find all my cards and bets posted there. You can find me over at Pub Sports Radio. I'll be with my guy Jimmy the Bag this week on Thursday. And on Sunday, I'll be with my guy Wine Time Sports on our own show, Walk Off Wagers, right over on Pub Sports Radio. It's right here on YouTube. Go over, check it out. Very similar content.
Yeah, cool. Appreciate you joining. I think Spoon will probably be back this week too, so we'll see Spoon back here soon. Yeah, everyone enjoy your night. Oh, betting league, new week starts tomorrow. We didn't do the betting league today. Shout out to Noop. He won last week, and normally a new league starts on Monday, but because I didn't get home till late, we just took the day off in the betting league. New league starts tomorrow. I will have everything posted in give me like 20 minutes, and I'll have the betting league posted for tomorrow. The deadline will be 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you're going to have roughly 16 hours to submit picks if you're trying to get in on that. Yeah, everyone have a good night. Bet responsibly. I'll be up for a couple hours doing college football stuff.